Cheers.
Cheers.
How beautiful this glass is, my gosh.
It's a Christmas present.
Yeah? It's beautiful.
From us to us.
Yeah, it's great.
I used to always have like really, really nice, just like glasses that you used all the time, not saved for special.
Yeah.
And they break more easily than regular glasses. If they're crystal, they break.
That's what crystal glasses do.
Yeah.
They just break.
And so then we started having these glasses that we had were just like so big, they were like ginger jars, and they were so gross. I thought, well, this is stupid. They're gonna break. Those broke too. Now we only have 2 of them. So if there's 3 people, we'd still have to like figure out, you know, like get out the wine glasses and put cocktails in them or something. You know, something that we can all have the same glass. So I don't care. I'm buying some nice glasses, and that's our Christmas present. And fuck it. And they're all gonna break, and then it'll be fine.
And then you get new ones the next year.
I can't afford anything, so why shouldn't I just have what I want when I possibly can?
Yeah.
So here's
What'd you do?
the concept. So I didn't know if you would have an agenda for us.
Yes.
Do you?
No.
Okay, so I had an idea.
Yeah?
And it could actually be something that I should be doing.
Okay.
Do what you have to do.
Peter, who's the men the pictures in your bathroom?
It's Laurence Olivier and Tony Curtis in Ben-Hur or something like that.
Yeah.
And
That's a great picture.
I had a
Very
job for a little while, many, many years ago, when I first met John, where I worked for I'm trying to figure out what they were. I probably would be a star if I could remember people's names. Tons of stars. Lauren Bacall and Patty, knowing that she was out there, saying, "Have you seen Lauren Bacall? Where is she?" And I was like, 8th row, 1 seat in on the center section, right where you meet her. And I opened the door, and Ann Beckler was sitting. And I went, "Oh my God, you're Ann Beckler." She said, "Yes, I am." Peter, darling! And we turn around, and it's Amy Gabor with Eddie Albert calling for us. "You must be Mrs. Marinos, and you must be Mr. Marinos." And my parents collapsed. We'll say this. Freda was in the audience and came backstage. I just have to tell you, your performance was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. When we were doing Zorba on Broadway with Anthony Quinn and Leela Kudrow. What a piece of work, just like the character. He treats me so bad. Did you see what he did to me tonight? They would argue all the time. They just argue. And Debbie Reynolds is doing this tour. So we are supposed to be leaving, and he says, we have to go upstairs and meet Carrie Fisher. We're just going to go upstairs. How are we going to go? You know, telling Michael Bennett that I didn't think Hal Prince was a genius fulfilled him. Oh, just don't worry, it's casual, don't worry. Stephen Sondheim, Hermione Gingold, there's like every big fuck in the world is there in black tie. I know that Seth Rudetsky is doing this. And then he says, is Peter Marinos in the house? I said, I'm up here. And he says, well, get your ass down here. There's ushers at every station, like on Barbra Streisand. And I met Nicholas Dante at a gay bar, and he said, you just remind me so much of myself. Paul Giamatti had done all the auditions, and then he said, and Peter can sing anything. Gwen Verdon came out of the stage, everybody's going to be quiet and ask her questions. So all the chorus would gather around. She goes, has anybody looked stage right? Miss Mary Sunshine is doing high kicks. He's going to have the best legs in the show. Maybe the rest of you should kick your legs up a little higher.
Okay, now you can talk.
Say something?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, stop.
That's it? Is that it? Say something? Oh.
Okay, stop. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Seriously. The fact that we've got this wonderful sound now just
Should
is...
turn this up. Should it be really something grand? Should I have a hat? Maybe a big turban.
Yeah, right?
I have a big pink turban.
Maybe we can bring that out.
Maybe sometime.
I think everything's recording, so this is good.
They were recording right now?
I mean, all my devices are
okay.
going, which is kind of a miracle. All right, why don't you tell me your name?
My name is Peter Marinos.
All right. Do you want to read something from Clown?
Yeah, you have to hand me my glasses.
Or do you want to tell me about Debbie? Or is there another pressing story that...
I'll do the clown thing.
Okay.
That'll be kind of good since I haven't even seen it in ages. I often try to read it and then I just get so angry that I have to stop. Do you want me to do the Carol Channing, or do you want me to do T, or?
Okay. That's enough of that.
That's enough of that.
That should be okay.
Okay.
I think so, right?
I don't know. You want me to read this thing?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Tell me when. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to literally just look at it and read it.
And
Not like look up like I'm performing.
Yeah.
Would that be okay?
That's fantastic.
What is on that? How much of me? All of me?
It's mainly just a wide shot.
Yeah, this
Do
is
you
a
feel
wide
self-
shot, okay.
Do you feel self-conscious about it?
No, I just don't know what it is.
Yeah. No, it just picks up the scope of the report.
Okay.
But I would tell you if I were nervous about what you were showing.
Tell me when you're ready.
Axiom.
I never have to make believe. Imagination is where I live. Escape is my sole destination. I seem to thrive on fantasy. It's not a vitamin. My imagination is not a supplement. It is quite seriously my oxygen. It's all just so damn real. My dreams are more vivid than my memories. And even when they're ridiculously optimistic, I don't seem to be disappointed if they don't come true. If life doesn't live up to my fantasies, it's the only time I can actually find it within myself to be patient. Somehow, despite all the bullshit, all the disappointment, all evidence to the contrary, and the weight of history and prevailing wisdom and all appearances, I just keep faith. I honestly believe my dreams are just rehearsals for experiences yet to come. Ridiculous?
No, I don't think so.
Next, I'd like to read an excerpt from Anna Karenina.
Did you just wake up one day and say, "Oh, I know. My dreams are just rehearsals"?
I don't know that I woke up and thought of that, but when I was in the process of writing Clown, the guy that co-wrote it with me, this playwright, I had directed a play that he wrote, and I contacted him and said, I'd like to do this play on, it's very convoluted, but there is a novel called The Clown by Heinrich Boll, which is really about the church and Nazis, and he is literally a clown that goes and performs at Rotary clubs and stuff. And I used to always read this book, like always. I always had it in my bag, and I would just open up and start reading because it just touched me all the time. And I told this playwright, Eric Beale, I said, what if the clown was just an actor and all the things that he's fighting against, the Nazis, the church, and everything, were the theater, casting directors and agents and all of that. I think that this could be a one-man play. And I've always taken notes on things, and they're kind of journals, but not like I wrote every day. So here's my journals. Read them and see what you can find in them. And then even in the play, The Clown, Peter says, so I gave this director my journals, and he just threw them up in the air and grabbed a couple of one-liners and wrote this play that has nothing to do with me. That's kind of where it came from. But dreams are just experiences, dreams are just rehearsals for experiences yet to come is in there. I wrote that at some point, realizing that I'm such a dreamer, but your dreams come true. I had to pee. I'm sorry.
Go for it. It's all good.
Jesus.
You're good, Poppy. You're good. This is right.
Are we still here?
We're still here.
Good times and bum times. See, you may think that by pulling things out like this, that they're becoming disorganized, and you might thank me profusely, but they're not organized. I should put glasses on. I must wear glasses at all times because I have bad circles.
Hold your chin like
I didn't
Jane.
sleep well last night.
Oh no, why not?
Because I'm thinking about you.
Oh,
and
come
thinking
on,
about
Peter.
this and
We've been doing this for 5
being
years.
excited and being nervous, and I have diabetes. I'll probably be dead before my 70th birthday.
Can we
Well, then I won't have to worry about
maybe
it.
turn off the AC?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, if I wear this, I could tape everything
No,
up.
you're not taping it.
I could be like 20.
Please no.
Are you taping right now?
Yeah, here. You want me to say? I'll put the. Let me put the pink German right here. Let's get her in the shot.
Okay. My parents' wedding picture.
Mm. It's beautiful.
1940. This
That's
is
great.
my dreamy dad in 1942.
What? Oh, look her.
Yeah. Look at my mother is pregnant with me.
What'd she tell you about?
Going into the theater. I told my mother I was going to be an actor. And she, oh, that's such a rough life. They're all dope fiends and pansies. You're so artistic and so talented. Why wouldn't you be an interior decorator or a hairdresser? Like they were pansies and dope fiends. Dope fiends and pansies. There you have it. This is me on the backyard swing, which was my concerts. I would be on the swing and I would do a concert. I would sing, "Oh, you must have been a beautiful baby." But I was like 4. This is my brother. This is my sister. This is my sister-in-law.
What's that?
My graduation from high school.
So handsome.
See, we used to have to. I always find that so weird because I thought that I was handsome, but I never thought anybody else thought I was handsome. And so I never pursued being handsome. You know what I mean? Okay, this is a review that I did in Cape Cod, and we're supposed to be like 40s. I think that's why we're making those faces. And that's T. This is when I met him, that summer. I was still in college. Do you want to see some gay pictures?
Please.
Please. Like this wasn't
Show me
gay.
what you got.
This wasn't gay enough. Okay, so there's the AIDS memorial quilt when they put the whole thing out.
Wow.
And I went to see it because I had done one of the panels, and it was for 5 people, which was not allowed. You could only have a panel for 1 person. But I contacted them and I said, well, I can't make 5 panels, and it wouldn't be right for me to make just 1 because these are my 5 closest friends. And the thing is, not only did they all die of AIDS, and I slept with all of them, but the only thing they have in common with each other was AIDS and me. So I would like to make a panel for 5 people, and they granted it. So I made this little graphic thing with their initials on it, painted it on silk moire. Yeah, it was never a good idea, that silk moire, because they always put the whole project, the whole thing out there, all the panels, in like a baseball field. So there'd always be like dirt all over it. You'd have to go out and clean this thing. But I do have pictures of I always used to have a Christmas tree trimming party. And these are all different years of them. There's many more, but these are a few. And in each one of these pictures, half the people are dead, at least. Maybe more. Some of them I never was able to keep track of. Yeah, isn't that weird? The same thing. The thing they had in common was they were here at a Christmas tree trimming party, and they died of AIDS, and they knew me. It's kind of like I killed them. I mean, like I was patient zero or something. Speaking of parties here, we're gonna jump and then we'll go back. These are pictures of my 50th birthday party here that John threw. Pretty much all of my closest friends died of AIDS, but I also had slept with all of them at some point. So when they were all dying, there was a point where I thought, what did I do wrong? I thought I was doing everything I could. And I did everything I could think of. And who am I going to play with? This is, I mean, they died, but I'm left with nobody. I had like this survivor's guilt in a bad way. There's a thing, if you think of it, and I used to always think of this, that this person has a special relationship with you. They know these certain things, that everybody might know some of it, but they know a different version. Maybe because they shared it with you. Things that they told you about yourself. I love when you do this thing, or this makes me angry, or anything. And when they're gone, then that part of you is gone, because it only exists in relationship to them. So as my friends were dying, I just felt like, oh, so who am I? All of these parts of me that maybe I liked, or maybe that was something I needed to work on because they had noticed that and I respected them, that now that didn't exist. So I didn't exist. I only know me in relationship to what you told me I am, what I am in your eyes. And that was like a really difficult thing to deal with, that if you're gone, who am I?
You want to see your big book of stories and stuff?
Oh my God. That's okay.
And I don't think that light would really do much if I try to aim it that way. So let's keep it like this.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's all my techie stuff. I've never been this technical in my life.
Oh my God. I talked to my friend in Florida, and I was telling him about, the progress that was being made.
Uh-huh.
And he said, that's so cool. I said, yeah, it's so cool until you get a text and an email, and it's like from a production stage manager that you're starting your Broadway show, and it's the entire schedule for all the rehearsals for the entire run. He was like, what do you mean? I said, it was so detailed. It was frightening. What is he doing?
I tried to make it very professional.
I'm going to be such a loser when he realizes how much work he did.
It was very to the T, right?
Oh my God.
I don't know, I just had a lot of ideas.
Well, that's a good thing. That's, because that's exactly what would stop me from doing it, is there's this idea and this idea, and then I would go, oh well, I can't do it. It's just too much.
Right. I'm learning Chinese right now.
You're learning Chinese?
My brain decided that it wanted to learn
It's
Chinese as well. But it's one of those things where, like, if I don't tell myself to just take it one little page at a time, just throw everything in the trash and just be like, I'm done with this.
I was doing.
Hold on, I'm going to start your mic. Wait, real quick.
Oh, wow.
Is this off?
Yes, it's
That's
on.
off. Okay, good. And then don't say anything. Okay, now you can talk.
Okay.
I just wanted to level this out.
Can you make me not sound like abnormal?
Please, you sound great. If you wanted to tell me about your first Broadway show, I really like that one about follies and you kind of like rising out of your seat.
Okay.
That one's great. Let's start there.
Okay. Well, pretty much everyone talks about what the first Broadway show they ever saw was. And I'm always so proud because I was coming to New York after summer stock. And so I had this weekend where I was going to see shows. And I saw Follies, Applause, Company, and then Company again. They were all running at the same time, but the very first Broadway show I ever saw was Follies. And there used to be these like ticket brokers, and you could just go, like how TKTS is kind of. But it was like little hole-in-the-wall places. And I got a ticket just for myself, one ticket. I was either on, I think it was on the aisle, in like row H in the orchestra. It was the most fantastic seat. And before it even, I'm a nervous wreck, just that I'm gonna see a Broadway show. Because I've studied theater in school, I've studied set design and makeup and everything to do with theater. And I'm very excited to see a real Broadway show, but I'm talking myself down before it starts, that it's not gonna be like your imagination. This isn't like some Busby Berkeley show, movie that you saw. It's real live people on a stage, just like the stage is no bigger than your stage at Michigan State University. You know, just don't be disappointed. And then it's Follies, and it's out of control, enormous, and the scariest, bizarre thing ever is that the woman playing Sally is Dorothy Collins. I was not savvy as far as looking at the program while you're waiting for it to start. I was just sitting, and then it started. So I didn't, and I probably wouldn't have known her name anyway. But she comes on, and as soon as she comes on, I'm like getting nervous. I'm like shaking, and my stomach is like turning. Like what? I don't know if it's just the show. I don't really realize that it's her. And then she sings, I think it's maybe her first line. She goes, "Ben, just look at me," and she rocks back on her heels. "Ben, just," you know, in that little big 50s dress. And I go, "That's my girlfriend." When I was maybe 5, Hit Parade was this television show, and Dorothy Collins was on it. And my mother and my grandmother always referred to her as Peter's girlfriend, because I would just be mesmerized every time she sang. And now it's that same voice, and it's her. So I'm a mess that not only am I seeing my first Broadway show, but my girlfriend's in it from when I was 5. This show keeps going on. Everything is out of control, better than it could ever possibly be. Everyone in it is brilliant. And there's those girls, showgirls that are playing ghosts that in real life had to be at least 6 feet tall. And then they're in heels with these huge headdresses, and all the set design was all these platforms. And this woman would enter here, enormous, while someone is singing, and then just walk down the stairs, across the platform, across this, and would cross from one part of the stage to the other and take 15 minutes to do it while the number was going on. It was so magical and weird, like these ghosts in the theater. And then they're preparing for the section of the show called Loveland, which is like a vaudeville of their lives, really. A fantastical show within the show. But it's being prepared for 20 minutes or so. And I'm, Mr. Theater, watching, and every number that's happening, then I'm saying, why is that platform moving? And the stage was being cleared, little by little, as the show was going on. And I thought, I'm just getting oh my God, something big is going to happen. Why are they doing that? And then Loveland starts, and it's huge staircases and showgirls in huge white wigs and putti, like little cherubs on their, what do they call, peignets or something? Those things that, well, it was unlike anything I'd ever seen. And I'm gasping, really like a kid from Kansas. I mean, I already know theater things. I shouldn't be gasping, but I literally just stood up. I just stood up in my seat. Like, oh, and somebody from behind put their hands on my shoulders and put me back in my seat. I will never forget that I was like a child in a candy store or something. That might not be so good, but it was good for me. Back then, when you auditioned in a theater, and you waited in the basement, and then they'd call up number so-and-so, or they'd say the name. When they would call the name over the speaker, that was the worst. And they'd go, Peter Marinos, and everyone would go, Rita Marino? What's she doing here? It's a men's call. Shut up. And 10 at a time, you'd go up and you'd wait in the wings, and then you'd sing whatever you were going to sing. But anyway, I was kept, and we had to dance. But it was a singer's call, and it was the 70s. So it was literally, like 9th Avenue, goodbye. It was stuff like that. That's what singers did. In the meantime, my mother would, call me and say, the Andrews sisters are on Broadway and over here. I said, yeah, I know, Mom, I saw it. Well, they're Greek. Yeah. Well, why aren't you in the show? Well, what does that have to do with it? Why don't you contact them and tell them you're Greek, and they'll get you in the show? Really, Mom? Well, I don't know. That's how people get things done. You have to go for it. What are the chances that something bad will happen? That you're going to get blackballed for that? To be able to pick up the phone and say, hi, I'm so-and-so's son. And I know this may sound weird, but I need some help. It's not much of an advantage in the theater to be intelligent. If you're very business savvy, you can go far. If you're really artistically intelligent, it could be really difficult, because most of the time you're just going to have to bite your lip. It would have been nice if I had thought of that 40 years ago. I don't think it can be just all luck. Some people do. They really have a knack for seeing, but he goes here, and he goes here, and he goes here. That's a running joke. Because his hair is thinning. Mm-hmm. Not in a big way, but...
Is this thing that's new?
Yeah, I'd have to put it back on. But he notices it, and being a hairdresser and all that. And I'm always like, just let it grow. Can't you just grow it down to just like your cheekbones? So it's like a little Dutch boy with bangs.
That'll be cute.
Oh my God. And then he completely turns me off. That's it. He's not going to speak to me anymore. He turns me off. That's it. He's not going to speak to me. Not going to speak to me.
Okay.
Am I enunciating enough? I was better when I was reading the script.
That's picking up everything. It's picking up everything we need. I'm going to take a look at this. Is this Mom? Thank you.
Did I stir that? Is it okay?
It tastes delicious.
We're back to our old selves.
Right back where we started. Okay, so this thing doesn't... Can you play it for me? Just so I can kind of...
Oh. Let me see. I think it's ready.
It's cute, huh?
Oh, it's not even in here.
Oh,
no, you have to get these. So the other day, I'm searching everywhere for, who has a cassette player.
Right.
So I'm searching everywhere, and I find this one, and it's not working. So I changed the batteries, and it's still not working, I believe, because I can't hear anything. But there's no speakers on this.
Weird.
It's only, yeah.
Okay. I'm just taking this Yes.
Let's see if this is...
Okay, this is Belasco. So I have not lived in vain. Okay.
Oh, is that a voice?
That's something.
Audition?
Good. This is me trying to sing through it.
Oh, fuck me.
No citizen can be wantonly tortured, imprisoned, or made to sit through certain Broadway shows.
This is some monologue I used to do.
Really? It's cool.
But I'm doing it with a German accent. I don't know why.
Why was I born?
What the fuck? Well, let's try the other one and see if...
Peter, your diction is impeccable. Ron, hello. I won't hang up. This is Patois, and I am exhausted, my dear. I'm going to chow down to a couple of lobsters. Oh, your name, Patois. The time, 5 minutes to 7. And why? Because I'm returning Peter's call. Peter, darling, why don't you come down here and pick me up? Wouldn't that be elegant? We'll whisk ourselves up in a black cab. We'll drop ourselves off in front of the theater. We'll make a grand entrance. And I asked Hal about Evita. I surely will be bringing your name up. But I will get on the horn to him if I were you. So, Ron, darling, you must be at the show. Peter, darling, I don't know where you are. But I'll be up later. My voice is very low because I just woke up from a nap. I am Betty Davis.
That's it. It's insane, right? I mean, how could you not save that? I'm so glad I saved that.
That's great. Take it. Maybe in post-production, I can,
I mean, if we were to use this for anything, I'd have to ask her. I don't really think there's much for me to say as a reaction to it. Yeah, I don't know what
and
it would
then, you tell me a story about Evita.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's the thing to do. Thank you for sharing. I remember hearing that so long ago and just loving it. So wait, well, she called you to check out a few things about her book, right?
Right.
And just to make sure that the memories and things lined up.
Yes. There's a whole thing about... Are we on?
Yeah.
Okay. So Patty had... I'm just going to tell the whole story.
Please.
That what she verified doesn't matter. Patty. When we were doing Evita, our first stop, because we played out of town before we came to New York, was the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion in Los Angeles, California. And we were there for 8 weeks. That was like, and then we went to San Francisco for 8 weeks. That was like our whole preview. And then we came to New York. But after all of our rehearsals here in New York, and then going to Los Angeles and having all the technical rehearsals on the set and all of that, everybody left. There was like nobody giving us notes every performance. They were just like, work it out. And it had already been done in London, so I don't really know what they were thinking, but my feeling then and now is, and was, poor Patty. Like, you're working your way through playing Evita, and all you're hearing is that there's a 3-story patent leather sign outside the theater that says Evita, and they're doing photo calls of you, and you're on the cover of Q magazine and all these different magazines and stuff. But you're doing this show every night, and nobody's giving you notes. We, Patty and I, had gotten close. I don't know how it started. I think it was just me wanting to be close to her. But I would go to the theater an hour before half hour. And when she would arrive about that time, and I would go to her dressing room and sit with her until half hour, and we would talk while she was preparing or doing her makeup or all of that stuff. And she would say, also she had noticed that I was like on her, like watching her every move when we were on stage. But as well, when I was off stage, I would stand in the wings and watch her. I also had the least to do of anyone in the ensemble. I wasn't in the paramilitary and I wasn't an aristocrat. So all those sections were there on stage, I wasn't there. So she would ask me primarily about Don't Cry for Me, Argentina, and the speech, I have taken these riches from the oligarchs, only for you, for all of you, you know, that whole thing. We were all on stage with our backs to the audience, the ensemble, you know, like looking at her on the balcony and cheering and having Argentinian flags and stuff. And she would notice that I was not bullshitting. You know, people would just be talking to each other saying, where do you want to go for lunch? You know, because your back was to the audience, you could do anything you wanted. But I was like on her. So she would say, what do you think about when I do such and such? What does that look like? About a lot of things. In particular, that moment. Excuse me. And she said, I just feel that it's like so cheesy when I finished the one section of the song, there was a turntable on stage and the music went da, 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 and the turntable would go and her back would be to the audience, and then we would run up stage and we'd be facing the audience that way so that the other people on the balcony could talk to each other with the audience this way, and you would get another view of what they're thinking. I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, but that music thing was, she had to stand there and do something, and she would, you know, go da da, you know, something. And I said, well, you're doing a lot of gestures, but you're not doing them to the music. And she said, you mean like on the beat? And I said, yeah. And she said, that's so cheesy, that's ridiculous. And I said, it's an opera. You're being accompanied. You have to think of that the music is written for your gestures. Even though it has happened the other way around, you have to do gestures that make the music worthwhile, make it seem like it works. And I said, and you're reaching and you're doing this, and I said, you need to go, da, da. And she was like, what do you mean? I said, let's just name them. You need to go, I love you, I'm fabulous, I'm Christ on the cross. And she was like, what the fuck? And I said, I'm just telling you, if you go, da, 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 ba, when you drop your head, nobody is gonna go, oh, she's pretending she's Christ on the cross. But everybody subliminally is going to see that, and they're gonna retch. They're just gonna get, and that'll immediately cause applause. And she was like, I'm not doing that. I said, just try it. So maybe that night or the next night, when she's doing the song and stuff, just before that comes, she looks right at me like, I'm gonna try it. And she goes, I love you. I have to say the things because they're so funny. Obviously there was nothing said. She's going, I love you, I'm fabulous, I'm Christ on the cross. Da, 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 ba. And the audience went, ah! I just started screaming and applauding. And as she's turning, she went, like, looked at me, oh my God, you were right. I'm so smart.
It's good. Let me take a break.
pee again.
What are you doing over there, huh? You're like my dog. He drinks so much because he doesn't get paid attention to, and then he's got to like
Well,
pee
I also
everywhere.
think it's, I've discovered lounging on a simple divan.
Judy Garland.
Yeah. You're the best. I hate people who don't know anything.
I know, right? Where's their history? Hold on 1 second. Let me take a closer look. Would you like to be lounging on the divan?
Do you want me to be lounging on the divan?
Yes, please.
Okay. Oh, these are more efficient pockets.
I love that you did this.
This is Mary McCartney who makes it to real nerds. She had a really good sense. This is the one they put outside the theater.
Death on the Nile.
Oh my god. How many pictures is it? My mother had this framed on the TV when I went home that Christmas or something. That's how it is.
That is a fantastic binder.
Oh, these are all old resume pictures. Look at all this hair.
God, I love that one. Why don't we do that anymore?
Nobody ever did it. Well, maybe a couple people, but everyone laughed at it. I thought, I think it's fantastic. Oh, this is when
Look at that one.
That was my movie star, my hair.
Yeah.
My hair's in ponytail.
Oh my God.
So we
I
just
want that outfit.
have a resume picture like in the ramble. I look like I'm ready to get a blowjob. This. And then we sprayed me. Is it in here? Then he sprayed me with water. So I looked like I was sweating. 228-0900. That was the answering service. It was called My Phone.
Nice.
We had answering services back then.
Suzanne's a phone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just a bit of ridiculousness.
Oh, thank you. That is beautiful.
You're welcome. If there are things, do we need to film more? Or what are we
I
doing?
have 2 more things.
I think you must be done.
Real quick.
I want to end up here, so I need to travel that road to get there.
Hi guys. Hey. Oh, look how cute you're being with your goatee.
Does he look completely different?
Actually, with your Van Dyke, I should say.
My Van Dyke?
Yeah, it's not a goatee.
Why not?
This is a goatee. That's a Van Dyke.
This is a...
That's a Van Dyke.
You're a Van Dyke.
Fuck you, bitch.
I have a goatee.
You have a Van Dyke. I have a goatee.
You have a go-to.
That's my shirt. Not that I could
What's
fit
your
it, but
shirt?
it's my shirt.
What's your shirt when you were like...
Shut up.
Is that the 3rd crystal glass?
There's 8.
Oh, there's 8.
And there's 4
There's 4 designs.
There's 4 designs.
Okay.
Aren't they cool?
I like them.
Let's break them.
I was gonna break one last night.
You were?
Over your head.
In his sleep?
Oh no, while he was awake. So he knew where it was coming from.
We played the game. Look at I cut out my things and
The
put
game is fabulous.
Look
The
at it.
things I've learned. My God.
Oh.
Do you know what the doctor gave me? My end of life papers that we need to decide things.
Of course. I read your
It's a-
text
Uh-huh.
to everybody at work. The doctor told me I'm perfect except I need more kisses. And I put the phone down and I put my client had just sat down and I put the cape around his neck and I looked at him in the mirror and I said, I guess I should answer that text. He goes, yeah. What are you going to tell him? He's got to find a new doctor.
Your client told you that?
It's kind of...
So what bullshit disco story are you telling him?
Well, I was telling him that I don't remember how I got places or...
All these friends are dead.
Well, I have new friends. Yes. I used to always say that though, but it's true.
Do you know who Jacqueline Suzanne is? Or was, I should say, she's deceased.
She wrote
She wrote what?
The Love Machine.
I don't know what that is. She wrote The Love Machine?
What is she?
What's The Love Machine?
It was about some young guy that
She wrote dirty novels in her day.
I don't think I
What
ever
were
read
dirty today, they wouldn't be.
I don't think I ever read it, but
She wrote Valley of the Dolls.
Oh.
so this was about some young guy who was almost like maybe he's a hustler. It was cute.
Anyway, Jacqueline Suzanne didn't wear caftans, but she wore
dashikis.
She wore like a lot of sort of A-line flowy, and they were always Poochie prints. And in the 60s, Poochie prints, if you're in a Poochie dress, oh my God.
And when
The
you see
prints
those
were
old 60s movies and a woman is in a design that's just like swirling
swirling and, Poochie. And Jacqueline Suzanne lived her life in Poochie. If you actually Google Poochie designs, you'll probably come up with a picture of Jacqueline Suzanne. But, I always think of like those Carson is like the same sofa would be Lady Kazan and Jacqueline Suzanne.
Well, and Phyllis Diller wore a lot of those Poochies too.
Oh, Phyllis Diller wore Poochie.
We're only talking about
I can't think of her name. I can see her face. We're only talking about important people?
Yes.
Have you guys ever met Jane Powell?
I saw her in Fairway, shopping for groceries.
Okay, here.
Yeah.
Do you need light? You want a light?
No. This is me just playing around. Real amateur stuff. Is
We're going to film from there now?
is your microphone clipped on?
Yes, and the little top is in it too. I don't know, is that my good side?
Say that for now. Your flowers are beautiful. We just got some
I
ourselves.
got them for you. So you wouldn't think we were just dead in here.
I actually came to check up on you.
Are they dead?
Did one of them
Wouldn't
kill
it be
the other?
funny if you came, because I know that I'm Mr. Show Clean. Like everything always looks like spotless. It's what I call show clean. Like you could like run your fingers under something and they'll be filthy. But wouldn't it be just newspapers and empty pizza boxes and Chinese things all over the place? And you don't want like a really butch picture? I was kidding.
We'd love a really butch picture.
Yeah, where are we gonna find it? Wait, let me get a camera. Oh my God. It's almost nighttime.
I'm in the park. What's going to
I'm
happen?
in the park.
And then,
You really like that picture? No, you can use it.
I
But
really love that picture. I don't know. I just want to
What
copy it
about
for
it?
my personal self.
Shut
It's gonna go on my piano.
shut up, you're a bitch. This is T and I in The Servant of Two Masters at the Philadelphia Drama Guild.
Oh my
I
god.
did straight plays too, you know. I only studied as an actor. I happen to sing. I need to be,
You want to come?
a little different.
Of course.
You are a little different. That's why we're here. Do you need to do all this stuff, or are we?
Nah, it's good. I think it's good.
Hey, John!
Darling, come into my studio. Yeah, this is what it's
Isn't
like.
it crazy when it's escalated to?
This is
Oh, it's escalated.
this is what it's
It
like.
escalates every day. Imagine my lot 24 years later.
This is what it's like being a celebrity. Come and give me a
I know we're
kiss.
being distant. Can I kiss you?
Yes, of course. Please come here.
How are
So
you?
nice to see you.
Good to see you too.
Look at him,
Hello, my darling.
darling.
You need to sit up.
We're only from here, aren't we?
There's a little mar on the wall here. Maybe you want to move a little bit.
You're beautiful.
Thank you. Beautiful and fat.
Beautiful with your
I need
many
legs
legs.
out.
Or
I
go.
already had two. I need one more.
Really?
I get my click going. Yeah.
Brick, hasn't my body stayed firm and high?
What a great play.
Firm and high. She said hi, all right.
High, all right.
Don't you love that movie?
Yes, I played brick in college.
Isn't it a shame?
Don't laugh.
Yeah. No, you told me about
I have
that.
to call my sister, so I'm going to leave you two alone. We make a drink, grab my cigarettes, and go to bed.
Oh,
Okay.
Do you promise you'll join us?
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did you tie up?
Yeah, well, I wanted to look really professional. Also, I got this. This show.
It's cute.
You like it, right?
Yeah.
It's nice.
He's all dressed up for our session.
It seemed weird to me that I saw you stood up, I hugged, I kissed you, and I never saw it till now. I was like, did she just do that?
So listen to this. Listen to this, Johnny.
What's up, baby?
65th birthday in the woods.
He's younger than you?
But I don't know what in the woods means. I think
Perhaps
because
it's not as obscene then, and that his boyfriend is 15.
his boyfriend isn't 15. He's 18 at least. I'm wondering if Nick has some friends.
If he does, you have my blessing.
Oh, good.
Yeah, get 3 of them over here and we'll have a real good time.
3 of them, or we'll just have a heart attack. I think in the woods literally means in the woods.
That's because you're 100. That's not what it means.
Is there a place called the woods? No, really. They go.
Oh, you've already been smoking out here.
I don't smoke. It was just for
Nick,
effect.
I'm so sorry I'm interrupting you.
It's okay.
He wanted you to be in it.
It's fine.
No, I don't want to be anywhere near it.
You don't want to sit down and just chat?
Are we still filming? Oh.
No, I don't want. I have a video version.
Really?
Yeah.
But you are so
We've done
wonderful.
little videos. It's just going to be like.
Yeah, that's more than enough. An ashtray.
Nick thinks I have a problem because I've had to piss like 5 times already.
He does have a problem. I've tried to address mine. He has not tried to address his.
Okay.
It's not normally about pissing, but I have to piss again.
Yeah, that's okay.
But
I'm
it's
getting-
very
It's called
nerve-wracking.
an enlarged prostate. We both have them.
I don't have an enlarged
You will
prostate.
too soon.
I don't have an enlarged prostate.
How soon?
How old are you?
I just turned 30.
Cunt. 20 years.
I have a tiny bladder. Plus, we're sitting out here, and this is nerve-wracking, having to be on for this long. You might have to be sitting in the chair.
He's going to come and just do it for John.
How do you want this done?
Thank you.
It's hot out here.
Well, darling, and I'm under the
Oh, you
lights.
have the air turned off because the noise.
The
right?
noise, yeah. You know how it is.
So can you just sit here?
Will you just do me the teensiest favor? I know you're equity and shouldn't be doing that. Thanks, Peter.
What?
You're equity and you probably shouldn't be doing that
Yeah,
according to
I
the
know.
union.
Do you want me in it?
God, no.
Great. No, don't touch any of that.
Just give me 3. Do you know who Jacqueline Suzanne is?
Yes.
No, you asked me.
Just do it sincerely. Do it once
So
to me,
drunk.
once to him, and then once.
Once to you, like looking that way?
Yeah, why not?
Let me do my.
Just well, he's directing it, but
No, that's yeah. That sounds great, Peter.
with just leave space in between them so he can use it.
Exactly.
Oh, I see. Oh, she's got fucking cameras everywhere, this bitch.
Yeah. That's not gonna help. Do you want to hold something?
Suck what?
Do you want to hold an encyclopedia?
No. You old bitch.
Okay, my dear.
Don't say it. Look normal. Johnny, stop it. Sit back and relax.
Okay.
Just.
Tell me when to go.
Go.
Okay. Do you know who Jacqueline Suzanne is? Do you know who Jacqueline Suzanne is? Do you know who Jacqueline Suzanne is? More?
That's great. Thank you so much, John. I
Oh, that was
appreciate it.
good.
It was wonderful.
Do you know who Jacqueline Suzanne is?
Do you know who Jacqueline Suzanne is?
Do you know Jacqueline Suzanne?
Do you know who Jacqueline Suzanne is?
Do you know Jacqueline Suzanne?
Wait,
You know-
everybody stop.
You know Poochie, don't you?
Oh, Oh, thank you so much for letting me come over, guys.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, that's it? You're done?
It's been 5 hours. He didn't even give me a break.
It's true.
You don't need a fucking break. You have a cocktail, I see.
It's great to see you.
Great to see you.
I'll show you this wonderful thing when it's, you know.
Oh, absolutely. I love you madly that you're doing all that.
Yeah. You guys are great.
You saved my life. Can I do the tea thing?
Sure. What'd you find, Peter? What'd you
Want me to
find?
read this?
Yeah.
Okay, this would be difficult, but that's good in itself. Maybe. Years ago, I contemplated killing lots of people, my enemies. But with most of my friends dead from AIDS, I guess you start looking at the idea of death differently. Orrin Riley was the first. That was 1984. We didn't really know much about AIDS then. God, that was scary. Then T in 85. When T died, I didn't think for 3 months. T, Tom Off, my first New York theater friend, my best buddy. We worked together, played together, lived together. We even tried sex a couple of times, but we'd always end up laughing. You did, T, didn't you, Tink? Then Alan, in 86, he and his lover and my ex, Ron, we used to run together a lot. 87 was Matt Newman, my oldest friend. We met the first day of high school, and were inseparable for those 3 years. We stayed close for 20 years after that. I always stayed with Matt when I was on the West Coast. In 1988, cousin Harry died. He was the gay version of my dad. Big, strong, a wonderfully nice man. Harry was older than the rest of us. He'd been a ring bearer at my parents' wedding. Now AIDS was hitting everyone. Mark, Rick, Jeff, Brad, Steve. Still, T was the hardest. I didn't think for 3 months. Nothing happened. I was in the dark. Each night I cried myself to sleep with Ron comforting me like some pathetic TV movie of the week, holding me, saying, "Go on, it's all right to cry," or I'm here, try to relax, or crying with me, which was the one sure way to get me to stop. What the hell was he doing? How dare you cry with me? I'm the one who hurts. You didn't take T to the hospital, you wouldn't. You didn't talk to his dead body for 3 hours and insist that somebody find a priest. I told you not to come, and you didn't. You stayed away. You actually left me there with the dead as I died. Me and T. Gone. One of us in peace. One of us in pieces. Every morning for 12 weeks, when Ron got ready for work, I stayed in bed. I pretended to be asleep. I hid my face. I'm dead. Why are you kissing me goodbye? I'm dead. How can another day begin again and again and again and again? Doesn't anyone see it's over? Won't anyone let me rest? Then after he left, I'd get up and sing, "I Dreamed a Dream" with Patty. in her key, tears pouring down my cheeks, sobbing, but getting through it for tea. Nauseous, hoarse, dizzy, singing it again for tea. Now life has killed the dream I dreamed. I wasn't even happy when I found out I was negative. I kept thinking, shit, I'm going to be the last queen living. Who am I going to play with? With most of your friends dead, you start looking at death differently. Not at all like a punishment, but more like a reward. I don't contemplate killing anyone anymore. Now I want my enemies to live and suffer. I was never, when I would do this in performance, I was so revved up with the show and everything that when I got to this point, it needed to be edited or fixed or something, because I would be sobbing, crying from when I said, but with tea, that was the worst. I didn't think for 3 months, and then I would just like, and I would, but I mean like really the ugly, ugly, ugly cry, and still do the monologue. That was difficult, not just for me, it was certainly difficult for the audience. John said after the opening night, you know when you take your bow, you have to bow. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, the end of the play, you go off. And then that music starts and you come out for your bow. He said, you didn't bow. And I said, yes, I did. He said, no, you stood there crying. And then I never actually bowed. I was just like, but I realized after the first night that the play itself just like opened up everything, but didn't close it back down or resolve anything. So when I would go back in the dressing room to like change and get ready to meet people, I would like be falling down on the floor crying, like screaming, crying. And after the first night I realized, oh, you need to just let yourself do that. You need to get out of this in order to go on and be you. Because I was all caught up in the craziness and the emotions of the play. Nobody else was.
Oops.
I don't think. I don't know. There were some people that I felt got it. I did send the script to some people, like the chairman of the department at Michigan State University, who I had auditioned for things, and he knew me, and he had told me I had to go to him one time to get permission to have all my exams taken late, because I was going to come to New York to do a Wurlitzer industrial. The Wurlitzer jukebox was being reintroduced, and I had been hired to do this like boogie woogie review thing with the Wurlitzer jukebox behind us and Count Basie's band. And so I told him I have this opportunity to do this, and I don't want to quit school, but I'm going to go do it. So I need permission given to all my professors that I can take my exams after. And he said, of course you can. And if you get another job when you're there, take it and don't come back. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, you're the only one that's going to do it. You're the only one in this class that is going to go on and do anything. The rest of them are going to be teachers. Well, nobody had ever said that. Nobody had ever, like raised me up that way. That was the most supportive thing that happened to me in all of my college years. Him saying that was the most fantastic thing ever, ever, ever. That if you get a job when you're there, take it and don't come back. I already had always said from when I graduated from high school and was going to college, when people would say, well, what are you going to do? I would say, I'm going to move to New York and be an actor. But that was for me to hear it. And it took 4 years of college of me saying that all the time to make it a fact. I had to keep saying it and keep saying it because I couldn't imagine how that was possible, where I would live, how I would have any money, any of that. But it wasn't conscious, but obviously that's what I needed. I kept saying it, and I believed it because that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's really what it was. And so when I finished summer stock after my last year of college, I moved to New York.
Yay! Are you still living in New York?
I'm still in New York, and I'm still here. And I'm only 8 blocks away from where I originally started.
Oh.
And 8 is a good number if you want to know something.
There you go.
I'm like ridiculously optimistic because I don't think I've ever sat in any theater anywhere when the lights went down when I didn't think they were going to announce is Peter Marinos in the audience and I was going to have to come on stage and play one of the parts. And I still to this day, I don't believe that it's not going to happen. I still have that complete showbiz dream, like 42nd Street. There are people out there waiting. You've got to save the show. There are people out there waiting. You've got to save the show. You've got to save the show. You've got to save the show.
Your little hand is freezing. Let me hold it in my own. Your key will keep until the moon has shone. My name's Rodolfo.